Thank, uh, Thank you, Sudha, for guiding us through the overwhelming journey of Parivartan, which was nothing short of inspiring and visually compelling testament to compassion. It is my honor to welcome Dr. Sudheer Ayyappan, a highly respected Ayurvedic physician with over 20 years of experience. Following the legacy of his Vaidya forefathers, he began his journey under his father, Dr. Ayyappan Kariyat, a distinguished 7th generation Ayurveda pediatrician, Bala Chikitsaka, and further trained with Ashtavedya, 8 branches, under renowned mentors including Vaidya Madho, Ma- sorry, Vaidya Madhom Rishikumaran Nambudiri from Kerala. I've spelled it correct, sir? Since 2010, he has been the chief consultant at Sreehareeyam Ayurveda, specializing in Panchakarma treatments and the successful treatment of food allergies. His deep knowledge, precise diagnosis, and compassionate approach to treatment make him a beloved healer. Beyond his medical practice, he is also an artist and musician and dedicates his weekends at Village Health Services near Chengalpettu. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Sudhir Ayyappan. Also, during the session, if you have any questions or queries, please note them down in your notepads. Our volunteers will collect them and they will be addressed by our speakers at the end.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Yeah. Good evening, friends. I'm Dr. Sudheer. You're able to hear me? Yeah. You have the PPT ready there. They give me a very short time, but the topic is really vast and dense. It requires more time, but let me rush through the whatever information I can share with you in the short period. So basically, I'm from Kerala, from Guruvayur, but born and brought up in Chennai. Did my schools in school in IIT Madras, in Vanavani, and did my PG here in Chennai and UG in Manipal. So, though I come from a traditional ideas of pediatricians, I chose to do my masters in Panchakarma out of passion. So here the topic Madam has given me is Ayurveda in treating Parkinson's disorders. So Ayurveda, as you most of you are aware, if you're not aware, I like to show some light, throw some light into it. Ayu and Veda. Ayu means life and Veda means science. So as a science, we can simply call it as science of life. It's the oldest medical science. Oldest means we don't know how old it is. The oldest text what we are reading are Charaka Samhita and Sushruta Samhita, which is about nearly 2000 to 2500 BC. Meaning these texts were written in 2500 BC, meaning the text what we read and learn are complete. They are not like they have started the science in 2000 BC. So it's been a complete practical science with even surgical, different kind of surgical procedures has been documented and told in detail. Till the British period, we've been practicing surgery and everything, but after the British period, the surgery again vanished because of the change in the education system, but the medical the tradition still continues. So Ayurveda mainly has about 8 branches. These are different branches. I don't want to go into the details. Where the when you look at all these branches in Ayurveda, there are no specialists specific to the organs or systems. They are whole body healing process. So we treat the whole body as such. You know, if you like general medicine or gynecology or pediatrics, all these things are whole body involved. There are no reductionist approaches in Ayurveda. Next slide, please. So most of you would have been aware with the Parkinson's modern definition, because the topic is Ayurveda and Parkinson's, because in Ayurveda there is no mention about Parkinson's. Parkinson's is a modern terminology. So let's try to draw some parallels between the condition and what's told in the Ayurvedic science. So the WHO defines it as a brain condition. Of course, the modern medicine tells it as a progressive neuro condition. So it's a progressive, it is going to affect the different nervous system. The major symptoms are, as most of you are aware about, the mobility part, the tremor part, the balance issues, or the other non-motor conditions what we normally face and see in the clinical practices, like dementia is a major concern there, and sensory issues and pain. All these things are there. Next slide, please. So, but WHO says, the PD, gets worse with time. There is no cure for it. There is no treatment for it, and it's just like the search ends there. Okay. So, in a progressive neuro condition, there is not much to be done. If you are going to go with the version of the way the PDs has been portrayed in a particular way, then actually we don't have to go to the next slide. There is nothing much to be done, because already you'll be going through all different kinds of therapies, and then why there is a need to kind of search for other options? It's a question. So that's a very important thing I tell my patients. Limitation of a doctor is not the limitation of science. If you're not happy with a doctor, change the doctor. Don't change the system. Try all possible things of that particular system. And limitation of the science is not the limitation of yourself. You don't have a limit of healing. I've seen miraculous things happening with all patients of different kinds of conditions. There is no limit of healing when it comes to your own self. The doctor might say this is not curable. That is his limitation. Or the science would say this is not curable. Maybe that is the science limitation. But you shouldn't agree with anything. If you feel a gut feel there is something more, not happy with Ayurveda doctor, change to a homeopathic doctor, change to a Siddha doctor, change to Reiki healing. Try all possibilities, because healing is possible. If you give up hope, then nothing is possible. So if there is a possibility for other options, if this is the version, then there is no possibility. What is the next possibility? Let's see. For that, we should understand how Indian system works. So, Indian system, you don't have a neurodegenerative, progressive, that version of it. You have a different version of it, because it is based on a different biology. This is very important for people to understand, because people think, oh, okay, we have understood about the brain and the dopamine and other things, and that's a version, that's the only version that exists. No. There are different versions of biology. There is different versions of human models, evolutionary models, disease models, and it varies from system to system. Indian system, mostly they follow the first three I've written. The Newtonian Darwinian germ theory model is the allopathic model. It's a beautiful model. It works in whatever way it is. But you also have a different version to, different option, a different reality. Next slide, please. The Indian biology, which we are not taught in schools, sadly. Okay. So the Newtonian model is like the E is equal to M, E is equal to mc square, you are all aware. The energy and matter are interchangeable. You start seeing the body as a matter, that's the modern biology. You see it as a structure. But when you start seeing it as an energy field, then you enter into the bioenergy model, which is Ayurvedic model or Indian system of medicine models, where there are no structures involved there. There are energy fields. You have perceivable energies, imperceivable energies. Perceivable energies we call it as the tissues, the dhatus, sapta dhatus, the rasam, raktam, mamsam, medas, like that. And the malas, the waste products. The vata, pitta, kapha are the most subtlest and the base energies in which the body has been made. This is the model of the Ayurvedic concept. So if you tell me the neurodegenerative, that version is not seen here. So Ayurveda looks into a different perspective. Even yoga looks in a different perspective, because Indian system all follow the same Indian biology. Next slide, please. This is not currently relevant to the current PD, because it is about the different versions of the evolutionary model. You have a Darwinian model, the germs kill the thing, and you have a Kropotkian model. Next slide, please. This is very important. This we have seen that in the COVID time, when there was no treatments available for COVID. The Indian system came up with instantly with medicines. You have Kashayam, Nilavemba, or Indukantham and all. How were they able to they couldn't even decipher the virus before they started giving prescriptions. My friends used to call me and said, we have not even deciphered the virus. How are you people started writing the prescription? No, we have nothing to do with the germ theory there. We are not here to kill any germs or wipe off any germs here. We are only to strengthen the terrain. The Indian system is based on a terrain theory, where you start strengthening the terrain. You must be aware, all of you must be aware, that 80% of the people with COVID were asymptomatic. And 15% to 16% had mild to moderate symptoms. Only 2 to 3% had really bad symptoms, and 2% they passed away. So why is there so much of difference in the manifestation of the same disease, which germ theory cannot explain, which the terrain theory can explain? Next slide, please. So here what I'm trying to tell is there is multiple realities. You can see the body, view the body in different ways. So can they coexist? Yes, energy and matter coexist as two sides of the same coin. So do all the realities. So one version of the human body alone is scientific. If you say you try to prove the scientific relevance of Ayurveda, they say you people are not scientific. Yes, I agree with that. But based on what model? You are asking me to prove based on the modern model, which has nothing to do with the Ayurvedic basic things. So I cannot prove a quantum experiment inside an normal physics lab. It's not possible. So next slide, please. So when it comes to Ayurveda, the aim of Ayurveda is to maintain the health of the healthy and cure the disease of the disease. So the main good the definition about Ayurveda, it says about hita hitam sukham dukkham ayus tasya hita hitam. Hitam ayu, which is good for the ayu, which is bad for the ayu, which gives dukkham for the ayu, which gives sukham for the ayu. Whatever the science which explains about these ayu or the life is known as Ayurveda. Why is this definition important? Means we have patients coming with lots of blood tests and parameters. Everything is perfect. Still, they don't feel good about it. They said, my lab tests are, everything is perfectly fine, but I don't feel good. What's my problem? Why are these tests not able to identify the problem there? They say, I told them, I educate them, telling this is only disease management system. This is not a health management system. It cannot measure health. The only way to measure health is the sense of well-being. If you feel healthy, you're healthy. That's known as sukham. In Ayurveda, in Kerala, they ask you, sukhamano. What do you mean by sukhamano? Sukhama irkingla kepanga illaya Tamilla. Sukhama irkingla. So sukhama irkingla na arogyama irkingla nartham. You cannot ask the physician. They said, doctor, am I healthy? I said, you're asking the right question to the wrong person. I should be asking you, are you healthy? Next slide. So Ayurveda is based on a different model. It's not based on, like you have organ-based in modern medicines, like digestive system, respiratory system, circulatory system. Here, Ayurveda, the whole body is one organ made of different tissues, the sapta dhatus. Next. The basic concepts comes from the Panchamahabhuta, where you have the 5 Mahabhutas forming into these bioenergies, the Vata, Pitta and Kapha, of which the Vata is a very important thing, which we will be focusing on for the sake of the PD. Okay, next slide, please. In Ayurveda, we can compare that with the Vata Roga. Vata Roga, most of these symptoms compared to what we call as the Kampavata. Kampavata is a condition where you have many symptoms coming under the which is equivalent to PD. Why I see is next slide, please. These are the next slide also, please. See. So these are 80 different possibilities of Vata manifestations. So of which it can come in any form. So these are imbalances which manifest in different forms. So in Ayurveda, you don't have PD as a particular disease. So we can compare that to the Vata Roga and depending on the manifestations. So if you ask, do you have a treatment for PD? The Ayurveda doctor won't be able to answer that question. He'll say depends. Depends on what? Depends on the spectrum. The spectrum in which they come. The stage and the other complications are different. The spectrum itself is different in Ayurveda. The PD can come in different spectrums in Ayurveda. See, if you take the COVID itself, COVID was not just the one fever manifestation in Ayurveda. It came under 4 different fever manifestations in Ayurveda. So it depends on what spectrum they come, the possibilities of cure also will change. Next slide, please. You are more aware about the modern treatments that's available in for PD. Starts with the Syndopa or Levodopa and dopamine antagonist and other things. You have successful surgeries also happening and rehabilitation facilities, therapies that's been happening at Parivartan. All these things are very good. When it comes to Ayurveda, what can Ayurveda support? See, the main thing I told you, the Vata. When the Vata increases in the body, that bioenergy increases more than what is allowed. What is allowed means what is your body constitution. You are born with a particular percentage of Vata. Let's say you are born with 33%, let's say, or 50%, let's say. So if the percentage of Vata increases more than the allowed percentage in tremendous amount inside the body, those energies, then they start bringing in more of dryness and chalaguna, the movements, and vitiation of the other tissues, then it starts becoming a progressive condition. The progressive nature of any disease, not just PD, cancer, or any disease, is because of the element which is known as the Vata. Because that is a space and air element. It can expand easily. It doesn't need a channel to connect. It can move in. See, even you go to a place where there is more of Vayu there, then these discomforts will start increasing. It's very sensitive, more than the Kapha and the Pitta. It is more sensitive. Next slide, please. The curability. The curability, when you ask, these are the things what the physician will ask you. He has to go, see, I told you about the terrain theory. The important thing is not about the PD as a disease. The patient with the PD is more important for us. How the manifestation has happened in that person. That is more important. That will decide on the curability. If you ask me, is PD curable? Same thing I can ask. Let's work it out together. It will depend. No, previous one. The Prakriti. If you look at the Prakriti, you have Vata Prakriti, Pitta Prakriti, Kapha Prakriti. These are body constitutions in which when you're born with a particular combination of Vata, Pitta and Kapha. If the Vata percentage is higher in that particular person, then the Vata Rogam, what you have got, will add to it. Then the curability becomes less. So there are 4 different curable stages. And first is easily curable, which is curable with difficulty, which is manageable, and incurable. There are 4 different things. And I've seen PD in all 4 stages. All 4 stages. It will all first depend on the body constitution. If you are a Kapha person and you got this Vata Rogam, most of the time it is easily curable. But you have a Vata and Kapha involvement as a body constitution, and you got a PD, then it is curable with difficulty. It is going to take time. Or you have no Vata in your body constitution itself, then it becomes much easier. But then with age the Vata increases. After 60 years, the Vayu increases generally in the body. That's why the bone density drops down. You have dryness and the the porosity increases. All these things, Vata mostly manifests in the neuro and ortho spectrum. You can compare with that. Then the Vikriti means what are the other diseases which have been manifesting. So you have a stroke, and along with you got a paralysis along with a PD. Then you have two different Vata rogas involved. Then it becomes even more difficult for the disease to kind of get better. Desham, where do you live? That's also very important. Okay, they say, Kerala is a very beautiful place. Yeah, of course it is a beautiful place, but it's not a healthy place, especially for PD. Okay, because the place we call as Anupam Vata Bhuvisham, and the Anupa Desham, the place where there is a lot of rain and water stagnation, all these things, they are not the right place for a Vata Rogi. Any Vata condition, especially now we are talking about PD, if you are going to stay in a place where there is rain continuously, the conditions or the uneasiness related to the PD is going to increase there. And the balam, the strength of the patient. As you said, the older people have lesser strength, so the curability also weans off with age. Of course, if a person like Sir is there and he was able to walk and a brisk young man, so like him, if the balam is good, the progression of the disease gets arrested and the body will be able to sustain. Like Sir said, he went for 15 days of spiritual and he's able to walk comfortably. Not everybody get that result. There are people who are going year on year to Kottakkal and they don't get much results. Maybe they would have come from the other spectrum of conditions. And digestion. Good digestion, Agni is very important for the good manifestation. And diet. Diet, if you are going to, eat all spicy foods, junk foods, and have alcohol on every daily basis, and then you expect the Vata to come down, it's not going to happen. So if all these things are favorable, then you'll come under the curable category. Otherwise, it is a manageable condition. PG is a manageable condition. We can arrest the progression. But if we don't support, if you don't do what is best for the body to maintain the Vayu, then it moves into the incurable state. Next. There are many treatments that is available in Ayurveda. Most of you would have been aware of it. See, there are treatments like, Shiro Vasti, Nasyam, Vasti. Depends on, many of the treatments cannot be done if the age is, not on favor, because Vasti or Nasyam cannot be done with people after a particular age that needs a little bit of balam. But the other treatments, so the external therapies can be done. They are always a supportive treatments, and they help. They are equally important like the internal medicines also. They help in arresting and improving the nervous system. Next slide, please. Of course, these are the few herbs which the patients themselves, they Google and come up with. They are telling it's more effective there because a lot of research has been done on the modern research-based things. So they have found the similar changes with the Syndopa-like kind of effect in these kind of herbs. But these four are being proven with the modern research. Okay, there are hundreds of herbs which works in PD. Next slide, please. So the diet, usually what is favorable, whatever reduces the Vata is very favorable to maintain. By and large, we recommend the patients to follow this kind of Vata Hara diet, which reduces the Vayu, like milk and buttermilk and non-vegetarian foods if they are non-vegetarians. And millets cannot be taken in large quantity, except for some barley and other things, because it's going to increase the Vayu there. And fruits, seasonal fruits can be taken. Ghee or the oil, that's very important thing, because the Vata, the main challenge is with the increase in the Ruksha Gunam or the dryness, which the ghee or the oil, right now there are a lot of research been happening with the coconut oil and the Parkinson's and dementia, that spectrum, because they are these, if we start adding, because of fear of cholesterol, we have cut down on the ghee and oils, and which is leading to more increase of the Vata, which is leading to the progression of the condition. Next slide, please. good lifestyle changes like regular oil bath, sleeping on time, all these things are Ayurveda strictly instructs, and it has given a very beautiful things what needs to be done on a dinacharya and ritucharya, like what you need to do on a daily basis and what you need to do on a seasonal basis. These are available in in Ayurveda texts. See, 50% of Ayurveda is for the lay public. It should have been included in our biology classes. Then 50% of your research to the doctors would have been reduced. Next slide, please.